Someone knocks on a dead man's front door. He's been dead a couple of days or more. He died a fighter, and straight after the wake, he fought St. Peter at the pearly gates. Here comes the story of the hurricane, a man who made this life a game, but always will be champion of the world. Picked up his first cue in his early teens, while other lads were out scrapping in the street. In a local snooker club he found himself a home. He could play against friends or hustle on his own. Skipping school late home after dark. Wasn't long before he's playing the old sharks. Come on now lad, put your money where your mouth is. You rack them up and I'll teach you some new tricks. And so they'd play one more game, and he'd make a century break, tall enough to reach the table by standing on a biscuit tin. In his late teens he was traveling by himself to work in men's clubs where the gamblers dwell, standing off to the side with his worn cue case. And until he played he looked out of place. It was getting clear night after night. What snooker needed was a spark of light, and he played with this freedom, this manic pace. The leeches saw the money to be made. People flocked around him, see this talent for themselves, and he became their showman. From the hungover train station to the late night hotel, turned pro at the age of 22. All of a sudden he had nothing left to prove. He won the world title the first time he tried, and a few days later the tab ran dry. Oh, here's the story of the hurricane. Orange juice, vodka and champagne. He licked the cue ball with his tongue, plenty of screw on it just for fun. That's why he'll always be champion of the world. BBC had been in color for a while. Snooker hadn't worked so well in black and white. In 1982 the public was enwrapped, all wishing Hurricane would make his comeback. And when at last he parted that black, some people cheered, some people clapped. Some cried with him and the girl whose daddy had just won her the world. And that same so gentle and warm, turned out to be the eye of the storm. They called him Hurricane for the ruin in his wake. He wanted to be called Alexander the Great, but each new empire lasted a day. His talent became his talent to waste. But no matter what name he was called, he'd tip his hat and they'd all applaud. And even when his light started to fade, they'd still ask about the good old days, and he'd have his own peculiar take. It was always them against you, wasn't it, babe? Back home in Belfast where he learned his trade, he welcomes any comer for a tenner a game. Sits there with a smoke, a racing post and a drink. Shares a joke about what the doctors might think. Ah, that's one story of the hurricane. No two tellings are ever the same. When all is said and all is done, you can always overhear someone say, he'll always be champion of the